Hello, welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today we will look at a beer from a very special brewery, and it's one of my favorite breweries in Japan, and that is Shiga Kogen beer. And Shiga Kogen is kind of a subsidiary of Tamamura-Honten, which is a long-standing sake producer, Nihonshu producer in Nagano Prefecture. And first, though, a little bit about Shiga Kogen beer. Shiga Kogen, the parent company, Tamamura-Honten, was established in 1805, and they're located in Yamabushi, Nagano Prefecture, which, if you look at a map, and I'll try to put a map up right here, is just up the hill from Nakano City in Nagano Prefecture. And it's also a ski resort as well. There are a lot of good skiing in the wintertime. And the beer division was the head brewer there is Sato Eigo, and he joined them in 2003 and began producing in 2004. So 20 years producing beer, and to my mind they are in the top, maybe the top one or two in Japan. I would definitely say that my favorite breweries in Japan are Kyoto Brewing and Shiga Kogen beer, and in fact the head brewer at Kyoto Brewing did an internship there, apprentice there at Shiga Kogen as well. So Sato Eigo has been producing excellent beer for a long time there, and they also grow some of their own ingredients, including 20% of the hops that they use, and these are generally Shinshu Wase hops, and they use these generally as an aroma hop. The brewery also had a festival called Snow Monkey Beer Live, because in that part of Japan there are monkeys, and it was one of the best beer festivals, music festivals in the country. Not a large-scale one, but certainly one of the best. Lots of interesting breweries would come to attend that here. They have a tap room called the Teppa Room. It's adjacent to the brewery, where you can try out a series of their beers, and also the Farmhouse, which is a restaurant and bar just a little bit up the road from them. And there's also a sake brewery museum as well, and the main store, and they have an art gallery there as well. So it's an interesting brewery, and they've done a lot of work. I'll put a link to their website. You can see all the different types of beers they have. And this series, Yamabushi, is a special series for bottle-conditioned beers, Belgian-style especially beers. So, okay. All right, let's take a look at the beer today. Okay, and the beer for today is this one. It's rather special, even in this very special line of Yamabushi beers. And this one is called Tamamura-Honten Barrel-Aged Yamabushi Cherry Red. And we'll get to the cherry bit in a minute. It's classified as a sour, wild flavored ale on Rate Beer, and Rate Beer gives it, there's only one rating, and the average is, there's no average, it's 4.0 out of 5. In Untappd there were 52 ratings when I checked, and the average there was 4.06, so pretty similar. This is batch number 1. On Untappd, they have listed batch number 2, but no ratings or check-ins for that at all. So, and it's not clear to me whether they have made this a second time. I don't think they have. And this cost 2,530 yen, and fortunately it was a gift from a very good friend. Thank you, Al, and look forward to I have another bottle which you sent, and perhaps we can sample that together sometime. The cherry part, they used cherries called Cherry Kiss variety from Obuse in Nagano. And Obuse is a small town, kind of a small tourist town, not too far from the Yamanouchi area. I've been there, and it's a really pleasant, small little place. And apparently these cherries are are apparently not sweet like Belgian cherries, so we should get some acidity out of that here. Now, this beer, it's not clear to me how long this beer was actually aged, but certainly they said it was fermented and then aged for 3 months, and then bottled, or the cherries were added, and they put 200 kilograms of cherries in, 200 kilograms, or 440 pounds of these cherries into the barrels, and so it was aged in oak barrels, and then bottled and aged for 6 months, and bottled on on June 19th, 2020. So it's about 3 years or so since then, and I've been storing it in the coolest, darkest part of the place where I live. And it's rather a limited beer. They made only 1,057 bottles of this. So I don't think it's available on the website. It may be. I see some Untappd, there are some current check-ins, so I guess if you go to up to the farmhouse or Tepper Room, perhaps you can get some of these here, but online I'm not sure. I will put a link to the website so you can go check that out. Okay. Also, I'm going to put a link to a nice interview done by the Japan Beer Times with the brewer, Sato Eigo. Very nice interview where he talks about the beer and brewers that have influenced him. And in honor of this beer, I am wearing their t-shirt from Shiga Kogen. This is the slogan, and it says Nigai Jinsei, which means bitter life. And of course, you see the period right here is a little hop. Looks like a pine cone, but it's actually a hop. Okay, so should we give this one a go? Tamamura-Honten barrel-aged Yamabushi cherry red, sour wild flavor, 7.5% alcohol. Okay, I have a dual glass for this, and pour it out kind of slowly. It opened with kind of a big crack. Never sure if these things are going to become gushers or not. I'll be decanting this a little bit more slowly. Okay. Okay, it is a bright, what do you call this red? This variety of red. It's not too terribly bright. It's kind of plum colored, and you can see the carbonation kind of collecting and exploding up off the bottom. About a half a finger of light pink foam. Okay, aroma. Cherry right away. Well, yeah. And like a lot of cherry beers, beers that do include cherry, they kind of have a kind of cough drop or a medicinal sort of note. This does not. This smells fresh. Absolutely fresh and cherry-like. If you ever had something like Bone Creek, kind of like that. This is lovely. A little bit of oak, I guess, so some barrel. And perhaps a little tingle of the wild yeast, or the whatever bugs came out of that barrel. Oh boy, this is great. The cherry note is there. It's not quite as intense as I say, a creek, Belgian creek, but it's kind of smoother, more moderated, more integrated, I guess we could say. Definitely, there's just a touch of aging, light oxidation in the initial, and then it moves to the strong cherry, and quite a nice tingle in mid palate. It does not have the kind of retronasal thing that some, for example, lambics will have, kind of a punch up in the sinuses. Very smooth. Definitely some cherry, I would say some berries perhaps as well. something like barn dust, hay kind of thing floating in the air. Maybe a bit of nuttiness as well. This is very nice. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of sours. I know a lot of people are. I've never really gotten onto them so much, but this is very refreshing. We're in the middle of a rather hot summer here. It's maybe 34 degrees today, something like that. Maybe mid-90s, low to mid-90s, and this is very refreshing. Got a sleeping cat right here. Both cats have been sleeping a lot during this heat wave, but I say heat wave, it's probably going to be continuing for another month at least. Rich, refreshing, very pleasant. The cherry note never leaves. It's always there on the tongue. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. I think I'll be savoring this over the next few days. I've got a vacuum in stopper where I can put it on top and save the carbonation and save the flavor. Once again, this is called Tamamura-Honten barrel-aged Yamabushi Cherry Red. Quite an exceptional experience, and for bottle-conditioned beers and Belgian influenced styles, this is certainly the #1 brewery in Japan. They do make a hazy, I think, maybe one or two, but this is the thing that they really do better than anybody in Japan. And yeah, if you're ever up in Nagano area, you should go check them out for sure. Okay, well that is it for today. I hope you're doing well. Please do stay healthy. Take care. Stay cool. Bye bye.